Welcome to the Waiver Wire. Waiver Wire. Waiver Wire. Waiver Wire. Waiver Wire. Waiver Waiver. What up? Welcome to the Waiver Wire, where fantasy players become fantasy legends. Fantasy legend for me is that I had a moral dilemma, a fantasy moral dilemma that I have never come across before. I am the commissioner of this league, and I have a guy that is not paying attention. He multiple weeks in a row. He started people on a bye week. He's given wins away. He's just giving free wins away. It seems not very good.
Basically, after Derrick Henry got hurt,
he lost Derrick Henry. He lost. I mean, He had Chase Edmonds was his other running back, so he went on the IR too. Hey, shut the fuck up, Sandy! Here, shut your mouth. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to go on and become a second manager for this guy's team, and I'm going to go fix his line. I'm not going to pick anybody up. I'm not going to try to improve his team. I'm just going to put people that should start and set a lineup for him so that he's not paying attention. And then the first week that I do this, he's playing me. And I'm like, oh, well, shit. I won't... All these other people are getting free wins. I can't buy a win. Like I've been looking, and the only person I've beat all year is him twice. So it's hilarious. So I didn't fix his line. He still almost gave me a run for my money. I mean, Matt Stafford. No, it wasn't Matt Stafford. He had somebody go off on I don't know. Either way, that was me being a fantasy legend this week. That I was not.
He got a win.
Yeah, I was immoral
because you didn't fix the lineup that you decided that you were going to fix.
And I was a bad person. I'm a legend.
So if you would have set a lineup, would he have beat you?
I didn't really look that deeply.
Did he have people on his bench that if you would have put it in? His bench didn't
do very well, so I don't think so. Okay. I don't think so. And I did all right. I think I scored like 135.
So what you're saying is you have no fantasy morality.
No,
you're morally dead.
I'll do anything. I'll do anything. Yeah. One year, actually, long ago, with high school friends, we tried to do fantasy basketball, and somebody traded me like a bag of weed and money so that I would trade them like all my players, and I did. And I was the commissioner, so I just pushed it through. I didn't even let like the trade like vote happen. I was just like, nah, this is gonna happen.
No, yeah,
and they were all like, what the fuck? Like this was the most lopsided trade ever. And I just forever wouldn't tell them. And then I was like,
I got weed.
He gave me like a half an ounce of weed. I was like, I had to do it.
I'd have done it for a half ounce.
A half ounce? That's great. Yeah, that's fucking amazing, bro.
Shit.
Yeah. Really incredible season by me. 2-10.
You're doing great. I've lost 2 in a row now.
Oh, wow.
And we were actually looking. I play the guy. I'm in 6th place now, and I played the guy that's in 7th place. And if he beats me, we'll have the same record. But I scored 100 more points than he did, so he'd have to really fucking kick my ass.
You'd have to. It'd have to be 200 to 100, basically, is what you're looking at, and
which is possible.
I don't know. I mean, you didn't.
Unlikely.
What did you score last week?
Like 112.
Hey.
Last week was a very bad week by my team.
It was a weird week.
I could really use Alvin Kamara. Come on, Alvin. What the fuck, man?
Some offenses really struggled this week, and I think that's what we saw. We saw some of them. Yeah, we saw some low-scoring fantasy week this week. But it started off with Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving. How was your Thanksgiving?
Well, I was working. Actually, it wasn't that bad, so I didn't go in until noon. I was a swing. I was supposed to be there all day. And then when the closers came in at 4, one of them was like, hey, I'm your relief. I'm like, I'm a swing. And they're like, this is my section. I'm like, well, fuck.
Well, you're goddamn right it is.
Because I'm going to go home.
I'll see you later then.
Yeah,
I'm so sorry.
I went home. And
how dare I be in your section? Yeah.
I was only there for 4 hours.
Nice.
Sweet. Decent money. And some dude died in our restaurant on Thanksgiving.
Oh, my God.
I can't tell you where we work, but.
Oh, wow.
Dude, cool. Apparently, the first table... Walking to his table, like in that main hallway, boom. Do you know who Dominic is? Nah, Dominic. Anyways.
Oh yeah. I do. Anyways,
he said he just kind of like went limp on him, and he kind of caught him. And anyways, they were doing CPR. So I was upstairs, and it was literally like right there where that picture is between the bar, the 2 bar entrances, and. So he survived. Apparently, he didn't die, but he's in a coma and brain dead.
Bro, this is different than died. Those are different words.
He essentially, maybe his soul
he died
left
and
his
came
body.
back.
Okay.
Okay. Wow.
They're still physically keeping him alive.
Holy
Supposedly.
shit.
This is supposed. But anyway, so all the tables went upstairs. So I got there at noon, had a full section by like 12:15 in the weeds for like 2 hours, and then I went home at 4. And
nice.
Sweet. Some poor guy
cool.
had a heart attack and didn't die, but is in a coma now. I wish the best to whoever that gentleman is.
We were finally off on a Thanksgiving. I haven't been off. Yeah, I haven't been off on a Thanksgiving in a while. And that
go
was
to your parents'
Yeah,
house
we went to Pasadena and we went and chilled with my folks. And I did not watch Chicago Detroit.
Almost. What would we say? It was going to be like a 6 to 9 game. It was almost. For a while, it was like 6 to 3 or
the
some
highlights
shit.
they showed looked like a trash ass game that I didn't want any part of, and no one did.
And Chicago and fucking Detroit still can't win.
Man, Detroit still can't get a win. It's so sad. I mean, this one
at this point they might as well
go
for 0-17.
Yeah.
They'll be the first 0-17 team.
You're Jared Goff. Are you not happy? It's not Jared Goff's fault. I wouldn't say he's the problem with this team. They've got a lot of other problems.
Swift got hurt, right?
Yeah, Swift got hurt. He's probably out. He's questionable right now, but they are leaning more towards that he's probably not going to play.
Hawkinson did better than Fant.
He scored a touchdown, right?
I had him on my bench.
Yeah, well, the Detroit Lions just haven't been very good. Even though I'm going crazy in this next week, I'm going for it. I'm going for it. But trash ass game that no one gave a fuck about.
Yeah.
They did not cover the points. They were a 3.5 point favorite. Chicago was so.
I got that one right.
Yeah, I did not cover the points on that, so technically I was wrong. Although I did pick Chicago to win. And then the Vegas Raiders and the Dallas Cowgirls. Man, this was a good game. This was back and forth. Actually, that's not true. Dallas went up early, and I thought they were going to run away with it. I was like, oh, Dallas is about to win. They're about to stomp them out.
And Wilson had a good game too.
Yeah.
Both of those receivers had.
I put him on my thing, Wilson.
But if they once.
Yeah, but again,
if CeeDee Lamb
in the next couple of weeks, that's really what you're looking at. We're usually, most people probably are playing in week 14 a regular season. We're not. We're going straight into the playoffs. I wanted to avoid week 17 and 18. I didn't want that to be a part of anybody's Super Bowl. So our playoffs are going to be week 14, 15, and 16. And most people's playoffs are coming up. If you're not playing next week, you're probably in week 15 and 16. My point is, how long are Amari Cooper and CeeDee Lamb going to be out? If Dallas, let's say, wins again next week, they have a pretty heavy lead on. I could just see a scenario.
Amari Cooper's in COVID protocol.
And the CeeDee Lamb.
And CeeDee Lamb had a concussion.
Yeah, but how often does Amari Cooper. My point is, this Wilson guy seemed to get more looks than Michael Gallup. And if CeeDee Lamb and Amari Cooper either get set for rest or they are hurt, which Amari Cooper and CeeDee Lamb are a little injury prone, this Wilson kid's not a bad idea. He's one of the lone ones on this.
He's definitely someone that you
wire.
could probably start this week.
Yeah.
I don't know how valuable he'll be.
He's a good thing to stash away as you're looking at your playoffs. So.
Cooper, yeah. Once Lamb and Cooper come back, he's irrelevant.
No, right, he's irrelevant. Opinion. Yeah, but I just, as long as there are injuries going around, this Wilson kid.
You could use him next, but they play on Thursday, so McCarthy apparently is in. There's a bunch of COVID going around. I know,
yeah. Yeah, I think it's a lie, but whatever.
Hit the coaching staff.
And the overtime win, I mean, it's just devastating for these Cowgirls. The good thing for them was that Philly lost, so they're still 2 games up in their division. They're going to win their division, they're not winning a Super Bowl. I just don't see it with them, especially with as now Zeke has kind of come back down to earth, and their defense is good. Don't get me wrong. What they improved on is their defense. Their defense is a lot better, but their offense is still their offense. And CeeDee Lamb and Amari Cooper are going to come back for how long? Because both of them are injury prone and both of them are going to go out. How long is Zeke going to be here? Like, I just don't see it. I don't see that. They're probably the 5th best team. Maybe I'll put them ahead of the Rams right now, but in the NFC, I see them losing to a lot of those. They're going to lose to the Packers.
Having some struggles.
Yeah, the Rams. It's one of those things where like you make these moves and you feel like, oh, we're gonna win a Super Bowl, but
that never happens in the NFL.
No,
when you chase players and names like that, you never win.
Actually, a guy at work brought that up yesterday. Robert, shout out to Robert. He brought that up at work yesterday, where he said, that is never in the history of the NFL. It's never worked. If you chase those free agents, especially mid-season, you always fail. You always end up where you end up losing. I mean, the Rams did it before.
Yeah.
The Rams went out and went crazy and went and got Jalen Ramsey and all that stuff, and then they went to the Super Bowl and they lost. I guess that's not really they didn't make it to the Super Bowl, and sometimes that will happen where you go out and you get a bunch of free agents. I mean, the greatest free agency signing of all time is Tom Brady, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. It's how is it?
Well, they won a Super Bowl in the first year.
It took your franchise from a joke. Yeah. Y'all were a joke.
Yeah.
And then now you're
absolutely.
I can't
it's got to be
think
one
of
of the
another
top ones.
Yeah, I can't think of another free agent that signed other than he got traded to the Broncos.
Who has gone somewhere and won a Super Bowl in their first year and been such a big
Peyton
impact? Manning to the Broncos, I guess.
But that was a trade, wasn't it? Didn't they give the Colts something?
I don't know.
I don't remember, but I don't think it was. And it might have been a free agency signing. It's still not the same. The Broncos already had won Super Bowls. They were a great organization. They had a hell of a defense. It wasn't really that well. That first year,
Tampa's organization wasn't necessarily a joke. They were a joke in the 70s and 80s and 90s.
Well, that's true. But they went to a Super Bowl.
Won a Super Bowl, and they were legit in the early 2000s, and then they have fallen off.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that you're wrong as far they hadn't been shit in the last few years.
Yeah, that's true. But I mean, I don't know how we got off on that tangent, but we were talking about the Rams and just how chasing free agents just doesn't really work. And it seems like they're pressing. It just seems like they're pressing. It seems like Matt
they also
Stafford's
said Stafford might be hurt. Like he might have some
and it seems like he doesn't seem like he's throwing as
well. They said it might be a back injury. And if that's the case,
off.
then that's what's going on.
He was throwing it behind Odell a lot. His accuracy is really off. I don't know.
They also, I don't think we realized how valuable Robert Woods was to that team. They weren't throwing him the ball. But he must
miss him
do
now,
it.
don't you? You racist fucks. Now you can't get. No, Cooper Kupp still had a pretty good game.
Well,
even in this game where they lost, Cooper Kupp
can't run the ball.
Yeah, but they just throw to Cooper Kupp, and he is always open. Like we were watching that game, and it was like, what the fuck is going on? How did y'all not know to watch number 10 today? Let the rest of these motherfuckers go. It just doesn't make sense. But going forward next year, is Cooper Kupp in the top 10? I think
so. Yeah,
you got to.
I mean, he's got to be one of the first.
He's the number one.
Receivers.
He's beaten Devonta Adams by at least, I want to say, 30 or 40 points as far as right now. And then just unbelievable season for Cooper Kupp. But yeah, I guess Robert Woods going out. I guess we care now. Fuck out of here. But Dallas ended up losing, and that was great because I love when the Dallas Cowgirls lose. And they barely lost, so I guess technically in the Vegas world, I wasn't.
No, you lost both. You did not cover the spread.
Lose both. Yeah. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Because man, they
had to win by 7.
So hard to understand this fucking Vegas bullshit. But go to mybookie.com, brought to you by they keep calling me saying thank you for such your great insight, even though you don't even know what gambling is. And then Buffalo at New Orleans was the night game. I was sleepy from Turkey, and I didn't really watch this one, but especially because it was over pretty early. They kind of beat them up right away. And this is the Buffalo team that I was expecting.
Well, we said this was a get-right game for them.
Right.
And
next week they got the big test, baby. Monday Night Football. The first meeting of New England in Buffalo. It's going to be a good game.
Destroyed.
You think so?
I think New England is legit.
You think so?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm going Buffalo, and But Buffalo. They from the highlights that I watched, they looked a lot better. They beat the shit. New Orleans. Let's face it. Trevor Siemian.
I can't believe they don't have Taysom Hill in there. Honestly,
they bring him in though. They do. They
so
do
I understand
bring him
why
in.
they're not letting him play.
Because he's just not a good enough arm.
Yeah,
it's just as an NFL quarterback, Sean Payton knows if I leave Taysom Hill out there long enough, he's going to get picked off. Because his arm isn't accurate enough, and I need somebody with a bigger arm.
Kamara back.
They need Alvin Kamara. They need a lot back. They need to draft. They need to if there is a quarterback that they love in this year's draft, they need to be aggressive and they need to go after it.
Sure.
Because Jameis Winston ain't it, and you need to find something to replace Drew Brees if you want to stay a top powerhouse in the league, or you will fall to the bottom of the league and you'll be one of the teams that just
You'll be Atlanta.
suck. You'll be Washington. Yeah. Nobody on New Orleans, even some of the people that I talked about last week, Deontay Harris and Traquan Smith, I wouldn't do it. I just wouldn't. Their offense looks really bad. And until Alvin Kamara comes back, maybe those guys would get more involved when Kamara comes back. But right now, I would say steer clear of New Orleans.
Yeah, Breda got some play for Buffalo.
Put him on there. And we talked about him a few weeks ago, and it seems like they like him. It seems like, especially in games where they get up and they're winning by a lot.
Well, it seems to be him and Singletary now, and what's his name's kind of
Moss was
off.
banged up.
Is
I know
that why?
that he had an ankle thing or something like that. It was something with his leg, but yeah. And Singletary's still not reliable for fantasy football. And maybe,
I don't know that Breda is
maybe
either.
Breda's not either. But I thought I'd put him on there because he had another good week.
If they could just settle on one back,
Yeah.
It'd be nice.
And I think they're loyal to Devin Singletary, but they just really haven't been able to really get him going.
Yeah.
So they're
needs
just
to change the pace back.
Yeah. But this is a big week for him. Big week coming up.
Stephon Diggs had a decent game, of course, because he was playing against me. So. Dude, I got smoked.
Yeah, you did. Yeah. Well, I think he had the highest points.
I didn't even look, but he had
He had like 176, something like that. Yeah. He
had fucking.
Yeah, Leonard Fournette. Yeah, Leonard fucking Fournette, baby. That was a great
Cordero Patterson.
That was a great game.
That was what it was. It was Cordero Patterson, the one thing that's gonna haunt me this season.
His only waiver wire move.
I should have picked him up the week before when I fucking talked about it.
Who knew? Who knew that this guy? Who knew?
I did.
No, only this fucking brand.
No, he picked him up with the week that everybody tried to pick him up.
I know.
He didn't fucking pick him up until he blew up 2 weeks in a row.
2 weeks.
I'm the one that said the week before that I should have picked. I can't even remember who I picked up instead. It's so disappointing.
Buffalo, though, going forward, I'd feel better about a lot of their offense.
Allen had a good game too.
Yeah, and I think
they should start picking it.
Oh, you know who I had the see. You should be letting me beat the Turkish guy, because I think your trade of Josh Allen for Devonta Adams was a good trade.
I even offered him Cortland Sutton and Josh Allen for
my God,
Adams, and he didn't want to do it.
That's insane.
Because he needs a quarterback. And
he needs a quarterback.
I offered the same trade to the dude for Cooper Kupp, and he didn't want to do that either. He needed a. He's got.
I wouldn't give up Cooper Kupp. However, with Devonta Adams, as I was telling him, I was like, look, Devonta Adams is good, but if you look at that guy's team, he's got Mike Evans and Tyreek Hill too. So I'm like, dude, you're good on receiver. He's making your team like the Josh Allen to that team makes your team scary.
Yeah,
but you're just crazy to think that. And I'm like, the only reason that you're doing this is because Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts is comparable.
He's almost.
You don't have a quarterback,
right.
And he's like, "No, it's okay. I will start Taylor Heineke. I will start Russell Wilson." I'm like, "Okay, bro, that's not working." So this is a good trade. He's like, "He's crazy. He's crazy. I will not give up Devonta Adams." I'm like,
you should
all
see
right.
the fucking trade he sent me.
Well, yeah, because he's being wild about
I was like,
it.
get the fuck out. He wanted to give me Allen Robinson. Oh my! I mean, like 3 shit players for Justin Jefferson and Terry McLaurin. I was like, come on! At least I'm like making sense.
Yeah, yours was reasonable.
It's a good trade for you, and it's a good trade for me.
Yeah. No,
you're being a fucking asshole by sending me this shit.
Yeah.
Acting like I'm being an asshole, fucking sending you that trade. So you know what? Suck my dick. I'll kick your ass in the playoffs with Josh Allen and Jalen Hurts on my bench. Maybe I'll fucking kick your ass with Jalen Hurts and Josh Allen on my bench.
That'll be fun. Jalen Hurts is again, even in this loss, I think he still put up 16 points, something like that.
No, he had like a 6-point game.
Oh,
this was his worst game of the season.
Well,
okay.
It was a bad game for him.
I'm starting him next week because guess who Josh Allen is playing?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. And who's Philly playing?
The Jets.
Oh, yeah. You're right. Yeah, but then, okay, so that was Thanksgiving. Yeah, we got off on a tangent.
We're like 20 minutes in.
But the Thanksgiving Day, the highlight was the Dallas-Vegas game. That was a good game.
Yeah.
And then we start off with the Houston Texans and the New York Jets. The Texans all of a sudden have decided we're going to play hard. I don't truly understand it, but
but they lost.
At least they lost. Get us another loss. Go Detroit. I really would love the number 1 pick or somewhere in there. I don't know why we're playing so hard now, but at least they lost.
Tyrod's back.
Yeah, Tyrod was back. And the Texans, they really played tough, man. They were in that game, but
that's why I think I like the coach a lot.
Yeah.
I think he's a good coach.
Yeah, and I mean, it does show me that we are not the worst team in the league. We are by far not the worst team in the league. I think there's a lot.
Definitely not with Tyrod there. At least the offense can maybe score.
But that's got to be a Band-Aid. Tyrod's got to be a Band-Aid.
He's not going to stay healthy the rest of the year.
Yeah, and we just listen, Deshaun, I'm sorry. I know you wanted to go somewhere else, but guess what? You got in trouble, and your life is over. You're staying here in Houston.
Oh, we still got Deshaun.
Buttercup. Yeah, we still got Deshaun Watson, and it's gonna be all right. He's gonna come back. But I got this wrong. I went with the Texans.
I got it wrong too.
And the Jets beat them by 21 to 14.
Might be the guy that comes out all this fucking running back nonsense from the Houston.
Yeah. I mean, maybe you're talking about
fantasy-wise.
I would not want to start Rex Burkhead.
I wouldn't want to, but I'm thinking about maybe starting him over Ramajay Stevenson because I don't really have any fucking choice.
I don't know. I think you're right. I think Stevenson, he could delete.
Yeah.
That's tough.
I'm still going to keep Stevenson in there just because I don't want to trust the Houston offense. But if you are looking if you're desperate,
Rex
seems as though Rex Burkhead's and
he's also getting more touches. Yeah,
he's getting receptions too.
Yeah, and Elijah Moore, I think, had another good game for the Jets.
He's a rookie, right?
They seem to be going to him a lot.
Okay.
Yeah, rookie. Yeah.
Well, Carter's still, he's still hurt.
Yep. But that was the Houston and the Jets game. Thankfully, Red Zone stayed away from that game. I'll tell you what, I'm going to talk about it here in a second, but I turned Red Zone off and I went to watch real live television because they pissed me off. It was the Tampa Bay and Indianapolis, but I'll explain. So Pittsburgh at Cincinnati, that was a fucking beat down. This is the Cincinnati that I believed in. This is the one that I've been talking about. That Joe Mixon, they clearly have figured out if we run the ball, it makes the rest of us better. If we establish Joe Mixon early, then that sets up to where I can throw to T. Higgins and I can throw to Jamar Chase and I can throw to these other guys and let Joe Burrow do his thing. And I mean, they just embarrassed the Steelers. It was like 30-something to 3. And they didn't score a touchdown. Pittsburgh didn't score a touchdown until I think there was like 3 minutes left in the game. So to make it 10 to 41 or whatever. But Cincinnati destroyed them. Pretty much knocked Pittsburgh out. I think that was the knockout punch. They're not making the playoffs.
Like Cincinnati's returning to form.
Yeah, I think so.
Did they figure this out?
I think so. I think, like I said, I think in those couple of losses that they experienced where they got beat up, they were forcing it with Joe Burrow. They were not relying on being more balanced. And now that Joe Mixon's back and healthy. Also, Mixon was banged up. He missed I think he missed a game, and he was coming back from an injury. So he seems healthy now. And Joe Mixon's one of those ones where I keep saying next year, that's a sneaky one for me in the draft. That's a sneaky one. That's one of the ones that if
maybe like a second rounder.
I think that he should go first round. If you're crazy and think that Christian McCaffrey and some of these other guys, Christian McCaffrey's fucking out again.
He's out for the season.
I mean, are we shocked? No. Is this surprising? It's not surprising.
That's why I hung on to Chuba Hubbard.
Yeah, it's not surprising at all. Like this is what these running backs that have been in the leagues getting fucking so much. If you're a workhorse in today's NFL, I mean, look at Derrick Henry. I hate to say it. We thought he was this cowbell, but he's not. Look at Alvin Kamara. Ezekiel Elliott has come back down to earth. Saquon Barkley's all right. And these are guys, I'm not even naming guys that have been in the league for like 10 years. These are guys that have been in the league for like 4 or 5 years. But that's the way this works. It seems like it's Joe Mixon, it's Jonathan Taylor, it's Austin Eckler and Najee Harris. And listen, those guys won't last long either. we'll be talking about them in 4 or 5 years, and it'll be the same thing. Where it'll be like, oh, fucking Jonathan Taylor's washed up. And I mean, it's weird. It's really weird with running backs. They just don't last very long. Nope. And I would not draft any of those. Even Alvin Kamara. I hate to say it. Let's say the New Orleans Saints.
Well, how long's Kamara been doing it?
This has got to be his 5th year, 5th or 6th year. And let's say they don't get a quarterback in the draft this year.
Yeah.
So then what? So you're just an Alvin Kamara team? Well, that's proven not to work. Yes, I think you probably had 2 blow-up games from him this year.
He's had a good season. Just, I mean, he's been hurt.
I don't know. I wonder what his rank is, though. I wonder what his rank is. Hey, look this up.
He's probably, I would imagine he's outside the top 10 now.
He's outside the top 10?
I would imagine.
Yeah. It's just weird when you go look at the top 10 right now. And Derrick Henry's still in there because of his monster games. I'm not saying Derrick Henry.
He's 12.
Derrick Henry might be the outlier in all of this. He might be the one that I leave out of this. If going into next year, I still believe he deserves a top 1 or 2 pick. Derrick Henry does. But the other ones, man, those used cars in the NFL, they just don't last. But I definitely got this right. Cincinnati was a 3.5-point favorite, and they won 41-10, kicked their dicks in the dirt. And then we go to the fucking Tom Brady. Oh, so good. And listen, Indianapolis is a good team. That was all I took away from this game, too.
That was a good game.
Indy's going to make the playoffs.
Indy was beating them until the turnovers.
I think Indy makes the playoffs, and I think they surprise somebody in the AFC in the first round. I really think they do. Because you could end up in a situation where, like, it's Tennessee, and Tennessee's so banged up, and I just don't see it. But Tennessee has such a good record that Tennessee definitely should win the division or at least be a higher seed where they could end up facing Indianapolis, or it could be like Buffalo, and maybe Buffalo's not up and playing 100%, and then I could see Indianapolis beating them. Indy is a very good team. Their defense is very good. No, they're very good. They're gonna fucking
and honestly,
kill the Texans.
They could have won this game.
Yeah, no, like you said, they were winning. I mean, they let Leonard Fournette, man. They started running the ball. They started running the ball. Not just there were some big plays over the middle that got them.
Well,
there.
He only had 100 yards,
but when they got in the red zone. I think that's where you saw the difference because Tampa Bay was like, you know what?
And he ran hard.
He ran hard, and maybe we're forcing this a little too much in the red zone to try to throw it and try to get Tom some of these touchdowns. But we just need to be more balanced, and we need to score. And when they got in that red zone, they did it with him again and again and again. And
I played against him.
You played against who?
Leonard Fournette.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Leonard Fournette went off. That's right. He played that fucking guy. And Chris Godwin had such an average game for me. It really wasn't great. But Mike Evans had a good game.
Gronk had a good game.
Gronk had a great game. And that is where it makes me go, okay, we're back, baby.
They need Gronk in there. And with Gronk, their offense, they could win a Super Bowl.
Brady just trusts him.
Yeah.
Brady just trusts him.
They know exactly what he knows what he's going to do.
So they're in the middle. Okay, so this is why I turned the red zone off. So brought to you by the red zone. Would love you, red zone. So they're in the middle of this fucking a 2-minute drill. Tom Brady's in the middle of his 2-minute drill trying to get them down the field and score to win the game. And they're like, so we've got the Denver Charger game that's just started here. Let me show you what just happened in this Denver Charger game. It's like the first quarter. Don't fucking give a fuck. And they kept cutting away from it. So like I was like, are you kidding? You don't know that we want to watch this? Like this is the most important part of the game. You call it the witching hour. Like all the other noon games were over. New England was beating the fuck out of Tennessee. Miami had finished it with Carolina. Like all the other ones were over. We were just left with Tampa Bay and Indianapolis, and they kept going, yeah, so let me show you what Teddy Bridgewater just did. Like, fuck, read the room, goddammit. But so I switched it over to live TV and watched the rest of Tampa Bay, watched that fucking game-winning drive. That last play by Leonard Fournette was awesome, too. Leonard Fournette plays like that, and they have Gronk back. Who's beating them? The Packers? I don't think so.
Indy, if they don't turn the ball over.
The Cardinals? I don't think so. Yeah, but
New England.
Man.
Oh, that would be a great Super Bowl.
Crazy story.
Oh, my God.
What a crazy story.
I didn't even think about that until just now. That is absolutely what we want.
Yeah.
Tampa versus New England.
That's the biggest
Brady
Super Bowl
versus Belichick.
ever. That's you can't come up with a better matchup in NFL history.
No.
You've never had something like this before.
It's gonna happen. Watch.
Wow.
We'll call it right now.
Wow. Amazing.
What is it? Week 12.
And what are you saying? New England would beat Tampa Bay in this situation?
I don't know.
I don't think so.
I think that it's possible.
Mac Jones' butthole is not like Tom Brady's butthole.
It's loose. It's loose, Josh. He's got a loose butthole.
No.
Loose.
Not in this situation. Not when the lights are bright and Tom Brady's the man in the arena.
It doesn't matter. He's got Belichick.
No, I don't know.
Belichick.
Man, that would be a crazy story. But
that would be awesome.
Indianapolis, I would say you got to feel good going forward. I know that some of the, like Naheem Hines and Michael Pittman, I think kind of struggled in this. I think Michael Pittman probably ended up okay fantasy-wise, but he dropped a pretty big pass there at the end, and he was one of the ones that coughed it up and gave him a pretty easy interception. So I know football-wise, Michael Pittman might have had a tough game, but you got to feel good about a lot of those Colts going forward.
They have a good offense.
Jonathan Taylor, fucking monster. Yeah. I can't believe we let that guy get traded in the middle of this season. I cannot believe we let him get traded to the Christian McCaffrey team, and so now the guy who lost McCaffrey,
I vetoed it.
I did too. Me and you did. Me and you were the only two, and these other fucking jokers aren't paying attention. It's another problem with the 10-team league.
And what did he trade him?
He gave him like Antonio Gibson and I don't even remember. It was bullshit. It was clearly a lopsided trade. I don't know why the guy in last place did it. He felt like he just needed to make a move. And I think Jonathan Taylor also up to that point had not been blowing it up the way that he had. Right. So he was like, okay, I got to move off of this and try to get something else. But I still didn't like the trade, and I didn't like it too. Who at that point Ben's team was killing it, and he had Christian McCaffrey, and it was like, what? We're gonna give him two fucking good running backs? I don't think so. But yeah, here we go. We let him have it. And
well, he doesn't have McCaffrey anymore.
Have McCaffrey, but he's got the top running back. He's got the top running back, and that's scary going into the playoffs.
Yes,
but yeah, great game, 38-31. Tampa covered the 2.5 points. I got that right.
I got that wrong.
You went Indy, yeah. And what a great game, though. And then Carolina went to Miami, and Cam Newton showed up, and he looked like Cam Newton. He looked like the Cam that we've been seeing.
Yeah.
I took this because Miami was on a 3-game winning streak. I probably should have investigated a little more on that because they have been playing well. Tua's been playing a lot better. My guy that I knew that Jalen Waddle.
Oh, Waddle.
I talked about him. I knew it. I drafted him. I wanted him. He was one of my guys I talked about earlier in the year. I think going forward into next year is a good pickup. Not high, but obviously if you scoop him up in the second or third round, you've got a good. He's doing really well. He killed it in this game. And I don't know what Gesicki did, but he probably did too well. But Miami's just been playing a lot better, and they beat the fuck out of Carolina in this game.
4 games in a row.
They made Cam look silly. He had a terrible game.
Their defense,
starting to play a lot better.
Year, you know?
Yeah, I put them as one of the ones that you might want to stream because they are playing the Giants, who have been kind of up and down. Giants just got to win, but that's an interesting one because they're at home, Miami at home with the Giants. If you need it, if you've got I don't know why you would have one of these defenses: Cleveland, Tennessee, Green Bay, or Carolina, but maybe. And then we go to Tennessee at New England, and it is official. New England is legit.
Yeah.
And they've got weapons.
Yeah.
And they've got people that make plays.
Still available?
Yeah.
I think.
No, I've got him.
Oh, you have?
I've got him.
Okay,
yeah.
as I said.
Stashed him. He'll die with me. The Patriots, how should I put this? I see the similarities. They have a good defense. They're not asking Mac Jones to do too much. It's just like from before with Tom Brady. Yeah. However, Tom Brady became Tom Brady because when he got in the playoffs, it stayed the same. So I'll believe it when I see it. Well, we're going to see him in the playoffs. I think they might even end up winning the division. He's going to make the playoffs.
They might get the bye.
You think so?
Man, I think they're number 2 right now.
Tennessee, and they just beat Tennessee. So, I mean, yeah, you're right. You're right. They could end up getting the bye. We're going to see it in the playoffs for sure. It's just I got to see. I got to see it to believe it.
The only one ahead of them, right?
I think. Yeah, you're right. And I got to see. I got to see it in the playoffs. If he comes out in that first playoff game, Mac Jones is just like Tom Brady.
It's set up for Mac Jones.
Man, then let's go.
Jones,
New England versus Tampa Bay.
And you know what else Mac Jones has? He's got a blueprint on how to fucking do this shit because Tom Brady has literally done a 10 fucking series episode on what to fucking do.
But
so if Mac Jones has the work ethic,
that's the thing.
And the fucking
are you a lunatic the way that my guy is?
Yeah, the obsessiveness of Tom Brady.
Are you a lunatic? Because my guy's a lunatic. But we'll see. We'll see.
And if so, then Mac Jones, you better get on that TB12 diet right now.
He better already be on. Yeah. He should already called up Alex Guerrero and be like, "Can I get a jerk off later on today? Because I really want to get on."
You got any free time?
Yeah.
Can I fly you up here?
I'll use the left hand. I can use your left hand if possible.
The stranger?
Yeah, whatever. But yeah, that was a good game. And man, Tennessee. Also, the flip side of this coin, Tennessee has beat the fuck up.
They are hurt.
And I would think so hurt.
If Tennessee had their full squad,
this would have been a much better game.
New England's full squad, this could be a different game.
Totally different game.
Nothing against Vrabel. I mean,
there's whispers of that Derrick Henry could come back. That he could make it back for the playoffs.
Awesome.
So if that's the fact, AJ Brown went on IR, but it's not season ending, so
it's a hand. So if they could get Julio to, has Julio even fucking played?
They're so hurt, man. I don't think
so. Their left tackles out.
Yeah.
Taylor Lewan.
Yeah. So Tennessee is just fucked up. They've had so many injuries that it's hard to see that they're gonna honestly. Yeah, and I don't know what their schedule is coming forward.
Cornerback too.
I don't know what their schedule is going forward, but if you've got to play Indianapolis a couple more times,
they have to play Indy. Oh, that's us.
Yeah, and
no, they don't have to play Indy anymore. They already lost to them twice.
Okay.
Indy lost to Tennessee twice. That's why Tennessee's. So like even if they're tied, like Tennessee, I think still has a 1-game lead on them, but they've got the tiebreaker. Gotcha. So Indy literally has to have a 1-game better record than Tennessee to win the division.
Yeah, but sad game for Tennessee really because they were so hurt and banged up, and Tannehill just can't do this by himself. He can't do it with no. I mean, he has no receivers.
Who was the running back that went off for him?
Tennessee?
Yeah, wasn't it Tennessee?
Well, Deontay Foreman came in and fumbled, and I think he pretty much lost his job from that.
Yeah,
and then McNichols still no.
It wasn't McNichols. It was somebody else.
Huh. Well, while you're looking that up, I will go to the next game here, which was a stinker, and it was Philly at the Giants. Like you said, this was Jalen Hurts' worst game, and it was a really sloppy game. Like, when they kept cutting to it, it was like, I'm so glad that this game is not being more televised because this does not seem like a very solid game. The Giants came out and looked better. I know Saquon had a better game. I know that Daniel Jones was better, but still not to me, not the guy, not somebody I would trust going forward on my franchise.
Hilliard.
Oh, okay.
Dontrell Hilliard.
Okay.
He had 12 carries for 131 yards and a touchdown.
Okay.
And 1 reception.
Interesting. But yeah, Philly lost to the Giants 7-13. They were a 3.5-point favorite. I took them. I was wrong.
They had a terrible game.
Yeah. I
was wrong on that.
Yeah, I would say going forward, you've still got to feel good about
Philly gets the Jets next week. I think they'll be better.
Yeah. And Devontae Smith and Jalen Reagor, if you have them and you're in a streaming situation, I don't hate that at all. I'm not down on Philly. No, this was a bad game.
This was a divisional game.
Yeah,
it is what it is.
It was a stinker for them, but it's all right. Yeah. So Atlanta at Jacksonville. Man, who gives a fuck, right? Cordell Patterson. Who the fuck knew that this guy was gonna? And then who knew that Calvin Ridley was gonna decide for mental health reasons he was gonna leave, and that Matt Ryan was gonna suck, but for whatever reason he can get the ball to Cordell Patterson. This Cordell Patterson is come in and single handedly. This guy might win. He might win because of Cordell Patterson. And he's the one that I lost it on. He's the one that I almost burnt the entire league down because of Brance, and it'll make me really upset.
Yeah, well, you know.
And Jacksonville sucks. I think that's another side of this too. I didn't really see a lot from this game, but I know Kyle Pitts is he's not what we thought it was going to be. He's not this monster. Who is at a tight end position? I really don't know. Other than Kelsey, I don't know who you could say is like such a reliable tight end. But yeah, Dawson Knox did have a really good game for me. And the Atlanta Falcons beat them 21-14. I picked Atlanta. That was a pick'em game, and I just picked Atlanta. I didn't really put a lot of thought into it, and I got it right.
I got that one wrong.
Maybe that's what I should do. Put no thought into it.
This was a week where I should have gone opposite.
Yeah, you should have.
So that means this week I need to pick and do what I actually think.
Okay.
We're gonna get this down.
I went 7 out of 15. So thank you, mybookie.com, for all the support. Even though this is what I bring to the table. And then the Chargers at Denver. Man, oh man, this is why I'm just.
Hey, I got one.
I'm breaking up with them. I'm breaking up with them full time. I'm back. I'm gonna start Justin Herbert because fuck Derek Carr, and it doesn't matter. I mean, my fantasy, even in the other one, in the other league I lost to, and I'm 5-7. I'm probably not even gonna make the playoffs, so it doesn't matter. But the Chargers, man, it looked so promising earlier in the year, and now as we get into it further, I see a lot of holes in Justin Herbert's game. Actually, he kind of reminds me of like a Jay Cutler, where it's like his arm's great, he seems like a good quarterback, but something just ain't. Yeah. It's just not.
Doesn't
there.
click.
It's not there. Even Josh Allen gave me early glimpses of that too, where I was like, it's good. It's not going to win you a Super Bowl, but it's good. And but Josh Allen has changed that for me. He really is a really good quarterback and going to be one of the top quarterbacks in this league for a while. I don't know if I'm going to say the same about this kid. I think I'm breaking up with the Bay Bear. I will stay away from the Chargers next year, aside from maybe Austin Eckler. Or, the receivers are still doing good. Mike Williams had a good game, but even in the loss, I think Mike Williams still had a good game. But Denver is such a weird fucking team, man. Yeah. You trade Von Miller. Also, Von Miller hasn't looked that good on the Rams. Maybe they saw something and were like, it's okay. We can lose this guy.
Trade him now while his name still means something.
And
like J.J. Watt.
Yeah.
Although we didn't trade him.
We didn't trade him. We just lost that. We just lost our leader for nothing because that's what we do.
But he's hurt. He did his J.J. Watt thing. Yeah, he looked really good for the first few games.
He did what J.J. Watt does. Yeah. Oh, and I tore something. Of course you did. Yep. But Denver is such a weird team.
Yeah.
I don't know what to expect of them. And what's weird about that division is now the Chiefs are back on top, but then the rest of them are all 6-5.
Yeah,
they're all 6-5. The Raiders, the Broncos, and the Chargers are all 6-5. And of those three teams, maybe the Broncos are the best out of those three teams.
Possibly.
I think the Chiefs run away with it after this. I think they string together some wins, but
they play each other.
Yeah, I know, and it's a big number. I struggled with that one because it is a big number, but I just don't know what to make of Denver. I don't know what to make of Denver, but
I know they had a pick six in this game too.
Defense is playing better.
Their offense. Just I don't know.
I know it's Teddy Bridgewater. It's like what Melvin Gordon. I can't get behind a lot of it. I'll tell you one that I was wrong on was Javonte Williams. I thought that guy was going to take over the Melvin Gordon job and he would be a good rookie. It has not happened. Maybe it happens next year.
Well, they've been almost giving him an even split.
I know, but it just
it's like the most
fantasy wise. It just hasn't happened.
He just doesn't have the volume.
Yeah, and I drafted him pretty high, and I that was one that I missed on real bad. But yeah, interesting game. I did not get that right. I picked the Chargers, and they lost. They were a 2.5-point favorite. They lost 13-28. The Rams at the Packers. Man.
Rams look bad.
It's
not
like,
bad,
it's
but like
not bad, but it's that
they just don't.
There's so much hype behind you now that you've gone and done this. Right. They're almost. It just seems like they're forcing it. Seems like they're forcing it. They're not running the ball. They're just trying to throw the ball with. If Stafford is hurt,
it's because they can't run the ball.
Why wouldn't you try?
They're trying. They just can't. They suck at it.
They suck at it. Yeah, and their defense just isn't good enough. And how crazy is this? Von Miller, no sacks. Aaron Donald, no sacks. Leonard Floyd, no sacks. They weren't getting to him. How did you put together this monster defensive line and you weren't getting to fucking the Aaron Rodgers at all? And the Packers look good. The Packers are going to be one of the best teams in the NFC this year.
They're a good team. They're unbeaten at home.
They'll finish in the top 3 for sure. I would say Tampa and Arizona will be the only contention to see who gets that bye. And it probably will be Green Bay.
Arizona's going to be because we haven't seen Kyler Murray for a while, so it'll be interesting to see if they get their guys
The 3 games that he was out, they won 2 of them. So that's pretty good. That's pretty good. I mean, if you can lose your starting quarterback
and your number 1 wide receiver,
yeah, and he gets to sit in a bye last
and your
week.
number 1 running back,
yeah, it's crazy. That's crazy. Well, James fucking Conner, yeah, but Green Bay looked really good, and they had a big game of who was it? It was Devonta Adams, but it was I think Valdez Scantling.
Yeah, it was Valdez.
I think he had a good game as well. But yeah, Aaron Jones came back and kind of took some thunder away from that A.J. Dillon. And Aaron Jones really didn't do a lot, but it was still good. When they brought both of them back on the field, it showed why the A.J. Dillon pickup was so big. They wanted to be a two-headed monster that could help Aaron Rodgers win these games. And it was a good win.
And yeah, no, he's a good win.
36-28. I got that right. I picked Green Bay in this.
I got it wrong.
Did you pick the Rams? Yeah. I mean, this was a pick 'em game. Vegas didn't know, and it was a close game too. I mean, 36-28 is a close game. Yeah.
Rams.
Yeah.
You know who we didn't talk about in the Vegas one was Deshaun Jackson.
And he's right there at the top of my list.
You did have one there.
Yeah, he's at the top of my list, and they are using him.
Yeah.
They're going to him a lot. It seems like
you're gonna get Deshaun Jackson type games out of him, but
yeah. With Ruggs not being there, I mean, it clearly is the Deshaun Jackson has taken that role. He's
that boomer bust kind of guy, but
and another guy
that he booms.
They had another guy that had a great game in this Green Bay game. It was Devonta Adams but it was Randall Cobb.
Yeah.
Randall Cobb scored another touchdown. I think he might have scored 2 touchdowns. Randall Cobb. Aaron Rodgers likes him.
Yeah,
it's a good pickup.
They got good chemistry.
He's out there in our waiver wire, so if he's out there, I would pick him up. Seems like going forward, that's a trusty thing that they're going to do. I wouldn't do it this week, obviously, because they're on a bye. But
actually, next week,
it
might be the best time.
Might be the best time to go stash him. Maybe I'll do that so he can die with me. Minnesota at San Francisco. God damn it, Minnesota! You just can't, and it's got to be depressing if you're them. I mean, good God, you can't figure this out. They played.
And Cook got hurt.
Yeah, Dalvin Cook, of course, got another used car that I wouldn't want to spend my top 5 pick on next year's draft. Yeah, San Francisco, they looked a lot better.
And I think San Francisco's won 4 in a row, too.
Yeah, and, you've been bringing up their defense, and it's a good point. When their defense gets home, when Bosa can get there and they can get in the face, they're a good team.
They play really physical defense. And
now, I think they sneak into the playoffs, and I think they're one of the lower seeds. I don't know if they beat one of these teams though. Probably not.
Probably not.
Especially how healthy are they when they get there? How much can I believe in Jimmy G? I just, I'm not big on.
But I would say that San Francisco's in a good place, especially when they bring Trey Lance in.
But Debo got hurt.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, Debo Samuel got hurt, and he's definitely going to be out next week. They're doing
Ayuk is a great play this week.
Yeah.
Oh wait, they're on. Oh no, they're not on.
No, they're playing Seattle. It's a great play.
It's a
great play. Yeah.
Ayuk is a good play.
Yeah, and probably their running backs too, because they probably will have to run the ball a little bit more without Debo. But yeah. Sam's got Elijah Mitchell.
Yeah, he's also got Madison, I think.
Oh wow, fuck. Oh shit.
That's all right. They'll be on his bench while he's watching us in the playoffs.
You still can't lose. You can't lose.
All I gotta do is put up 130 or something.
He can't go off. He can't go off.
Yes.
Yeah. How crazy would that be?
That would suck. But it would end my fantasy season, and I would probably be happy about it.
Yeah. Oh man, I'm so happy. I'm so excited. I'm so excited for next week when it's over for me, and I can just relax. So Cleveland at Baltimore.
Yeah, this is a shit game, wasn't it?
It was. I turned it off. I watched something else. I don't even remember what I watched.
I think they said this was the first time a quarterback has thrown 4 interceptions and won.
What a doo-doo game. Yeah. And Cleveland, they're just not good. Yeah. They're just not good. And we were both high on them going into this year. I think we saw what they did last year and thought, okay, they're going to build on that. I mean, they lost Kareem Hunt, and they really haven't had Nick Chubb for a full season. And when they had both of those guys, it seemed like they were a better
Hunt
team.
Should come back though, right? He should be coming back.
It won't matter. It won't matter. They're not going to make the playoffs, and
probably not.
Now that it's clear that New England and Buffalo will make it, and Tennessee and Indianapolis will make it, that leaves you with just one spot.
Baltimore.
Well, Baltimore's definitely going to
win. Talking about the division. Yeah,
I'm talking about in that seventh spot that you were hoping you were going to sneak into. They're just, I don't see it. Especially
right now, I think it
probably is them. It probably is them or one of the 6 and 5 teams on the
6 and 5.
Yeah, because you've got New England at the top, you've got Tennessee at the top still,
Baltimore,
you've got Kansas City at the top, and Baltimore.
Right.
Then you've got Cincy's got probably.
Because actually, I think right now Indy's still on the outside looking in.
Oh, really?
I think.
Oh, you're right, because Buffalo.
Because you got Buffalo.
No, I mean it's got to be close. It's got to be real close.
Denver.
They're all 6 and 5. All 6 and 5
Vegas,
teams.
Chargers, and Denver.
But Pittsburgh and Cleveland, Cincinnati's got to be in there somewhere too. So it's weird. The AFC is going to be tight. Where I thought the AFC would be like Kansas City blowing it away and Buffalo blowing it away, it's going to come down to the last couple of games. This is going to come down to the wire on a lot of these games, so it's going to be interesting. But yeah, Sunday night's game was doo-doo. I picked Baltimore. They won by 4, which they were favored. They won 10-16, so I got that one right. I'm not happy about any of these Baltimore.
The Bengals. We're forgetting the Bengals.
Yeah, the Bengals. Yeah, that's what I said. Cincinnati's got to be in there. They're probably 6, and then you're looking for 7 somewhere in there, which is like Indy.
So right now it's Ravens at 8-3, Patriots at 8-4, Titans at 8-4, Chiefs at 7-4, Bengals at 7-4, and why can't I see all of it?
It's got to be all those 6 and 5 teams.
Yeah, all the 6 and 5
which is Cleveland and all the AFC West and yeah.
But the Colts are 6-6, so that's why.
But the Colts, I think, will end up. Yeah, the Colts lost.
The Colts will end up.
They're going to get
the
there.
Browns are 6-6 too.
Yeah, but
the Steelers are 5-1, and they're actually ahead of both of those 6-6 teams.
Yeah, and that's the thing is that Indy versus Pittsburgh and Cleveland. I have Indy. Indy,
and I think in the next few weeks that'll sort itself out. Just as of right now,
Indy's going to win this week. I'll promise you that much. They're going to win.
Actually, you know what? Watch.
No.
Houston's going to beat them.
No. Indy played really well against a really good team, and they've been playing really well.
They should. I can't.
Yeah. In a dome, they're going to come here to Houston, rain or shine. It's going to be a nice weather, and they're gonna stomp us out. And I love the Texans, but sorry. So Seattle at Washington.
Also another doo-doo game.
It was a doo-doo game, but then right there at the end, wow, holy shit. He scored, they scored to possibly score 8 points and they just needed the 2-point conversion.
No, they didn't get it. I had it on, but
he threw an interception in the end zone and the 2-point conversion.
That's right. I heard it. I heard him say that.
It was crazy. And I don't know, man, what has happened to Seattle? What has happened to them? They have DK Metcalf. They have Tyler Lockett. I mean, I know that they lost Chris Carson. Yeah, but how is it that Russell Wilson can't get you a win? Like he was so electric, and is he still banged up? And
he hurt his finger. They don't have an offensive line.
It's
they can't
weird.
run the ball.
They don't have an offensive line.
Their defense played well.
I'll tell you, when it was on last night at work, and every time I would look up, he was just bum rush from beginning to end. Every time he would say "hut," he was running for his life. Yeah. So, yeah,
Washington's their defense they made him look good.
Yeah. I wasn't crazy about Washington last night. I know that Taylor Heineke played well, and so did.
And both defenses played well.
Did Terry McLaurin do good?
Nah.
Really? Nah, but he's a baller.
Single digits.
Terry McLaurin's a baller, but
my whole team just kind of had a.
Yeah. But I'm not sold on Washington by any means. Nah. I don't love them as a team.
But they're also like they should go right back to that.
The bottom of the NFC is interesting too because
the sixth, they're the 7th seed right now in the NFC is 5-6. I think it's the Vikings. The Vikings, I think, hold it right now at 5-6, but the Falcons and the Saints are also 5-6.
Gross. Oh my god.
And Washington's 5-6.
Can you imagine the Falcons making the playoffs with this team that they have?
Obviously, I think the Vikings are the best of those ones that I just mentioned, but
they just can't figure it out. They just can't get a
win. Well, they can't. They're not going to win a playoff game. Let's be honest.
They're not. No, they're not.
But they'll at least make it more interesting than the other teams, I would think.
Yeah. Some of the other defenses that I put down, I mean, I'm not crazy about them. I do like Miami's defense at the Giants.
They're definitely playing better.
Versus the Giants.
I wouldn't mind picking up.
And then some of the other ones, I just picked, the matchup of the bad team that they're playing, like Minnesota's defense at Detroit. If Jared Goff doesn't come back, seems like that might be an interesting streaming one. Although Minnesota's defense has given up a lot of points, and you got to be scared to do it.
And Patrick Peterson, I think, is
coming back.
No, I think he's. I think he might have been on COVID or something.
Oh, okay.
Something about he's out. I don't think he's playing this week.
Well, Philly's defense at the Jets, that one's scary to me, but I think
the Jets are still putting up points.
They are. You're right. Yeah, and Salah's gotten them played a lot better, so I would be that one I'm super nervous about, but I wrote it down anyways. But yeah, that was last week's games. Week 12. It was a week where we saw. I think we saw the cream rise to the top.
Right, and this wasn't a week where this wasn't one of those ones that a bunch of stupid weird shit happened.
No, it was all pretty. Other than you saw things like Vegas upset Dallas, and you saw Denver upset. I don't even know if it's an upset anymore, but they beat the Chargers.
Those were maybe unexpected, but I wouldn't say weird.
No, it wasn't a weird week. It was a pretty straightforward.
I think the
week.
Weirdest one is who knows?
Yeah. Yeah,
maybe Miami. Well, Carolina sucked for a while too. I don't know. This wasn't like an unexpected one where like all these weird fucking things happened.
Pretty straightforward. Straightforward week.
You're right. Cream rose to the top.
Yep, cream rose to the top, and that's the name of my porno. And it was good to see you guys. We will see you tomorrow. We're going to talk about next week's games. Peace.